Hello folks, welcome to a casted match of Age of Empires 4. I'm Paragon RG, and in this match, we have none other than Hera versus the Viper. The Viper being red as the Delhi Sultanate in the north of the map, early mosque going down from him, and Hera being in the south of the map as the blue, playing as the French. So this is a classic Age of Empires 2 rivalry. Always fun to see that extend into Age of Empires 4. I've been watching Hera today because Hera is absolutely killing it on the ladder. And if you do keep track of the EGC, what do they call it? Winner Goes On series, Hera did just beat Vortex to take it, win the $500, and keep playing week over week. So Hera is in fine form right now. Viper doing pretty well for himself, made it to the semifinals of the SteelSeries 20K tournament. So both these players considered right around the top. I think Viper may be struggling a little bit since really having to dive into Age of Empires 2 in order to actually win the King of the Desert 4 tournament and quite a bit of money for himself. Let's take a look at what the Viper is up to here with Delhi. He is going for efficient production, which is no surprise, followed by herbal medicine to increase the healing rate of his scholars. Now on high view, we have, this is high view, right? Yes, it is high view. I get a couple of these maps, this and I think Lipany confused. So on high view, we do have 3 sacred sites, and you'll notice a ton of stealth forest all around the map. So it is very easy if you're on the aggressive to really smother your opponent, right? To make them feel like they can't go anywhere at all. So if you can take the sacred site, for example, let's say the Viper took it, placed a tower here, put some archers here and there, Hera would have a real hard time, unless he has the force to just bust out, feeling like he's safe enough to do so. So to do that, it really does require top-level players who have a good sense of what their opponent is capable of at any given point, you know, let's say given the current time in the match and things like that. Hera playing as the French, this looks pretty standard to me. Mining camp, 4 villagers on there. Try to get the gold as quickly as possible. Doing pretty well for food, so he'll probably stop at 200 gold. I say that, he's not stopping. So maybe we can expect some very early night pressure from him, given how much gold he's collecting. Or perhaps it's indicative of something like a reasonably fast cast. Lumber camp going down only now. Okay, so we'll keep an eye on what he gets up to there. Plenty of gold in the bank. In fact, more than he needs for feudal. Does have enough to click up now, so we will confirm that he is going down with the School of Cavalry. No surprise there from the French. Viper on the other side has his mill, getting the wheelbarrow upgrade, 2 villagers on gold. He has the gold he needs, so he'll just keep chipping away if he needs to do so. 1 villager on lumber. So this is one of the mistakes I often make. I put too many villagers on lumber, and then see how he's moving 3 over now. You don't really want them on there until you're clicked up, right? At which point you can be a little more focused. You can start thinking, yeah, I have a plan. I need to make, let's say, 2 archery ranges and move villagers over accordingly. So 5 vills over there on wood now. We will see if Hera goes for the professional scouts play or not. I just watched a game with him where he, I think, made only 1 scout, but then went right into knights and really put the herd on. So I'm curious to see what his plan is there. I think the French have a ton of flexibility on that front. Like originally people would just go pure knights and you knew exactly what the French would do. And then they started going for professional scouts. And then, well, you know exactly what they're going to do if that's the meta. But now they can kind of fake you out and they can, maybe add a scout and then, go full knight spam or make a few knights just to freak you out and then switch into archers or something like that. So lots and lots of options there from the French, so I'm curious to see where he goes with that. Taking a little bit of fire, trying to annoy the villagers on the gold, but might have to get a little too close to do so. Viper finishes his barracks exactly as he reaches the 2nd age. So I'm guessing we'll see some spearmen. Oh, goes straight for the tech, actually, so just really wants to get that tech. So no plans for aggression from him unless we see him throw down some more military production. That being said, he has 8 villagers on wood, so I expect we'll see an archery range and some archers come out from him. Okay, so Hera reaches the second age now as well. And Knight coming out right away. Very cool. This is something I didn't catch. So Hera actually produced a scout out of his town center. Massive trade-off, obviously. That's one less villager. But it does give you a good sense of what your opponent is up to. If you do choose to go for professional scouts, and we'll see if he does. He's making a mill now, so I'll try to check back on what he gets up to with that mill. But in the meantime, using those scouts to just run around on the map, check the sacred sites, make sure Viper isn't up to any shenanigans, and keeping a very, very close eye on this. So, you know, to the point where he can count the people on berries here, and maybe even derive some things about what the Viper is up to. Here comes the archery range from him with a blacksmith, going straight for melee damage. Really interesting from him, then. I wonder... what does that mean, melee damage? Is that horsemen? I mean, he doesn't have a stable. Unless it's just to help the spearmen out. Or it's just to be useful later in Castle Age. But I would have expected, if you're going with an archery range, you would work harder for the archer-specific upgrades. Whether that be, you know, archer range attack or range defense, which will work for any of your unitypes. First Knight coming in now from Hera at the same time as his first archer. So I've seen him do this quite a bit. He's really nasty with it. I get the impression that he's playing around with it a little bit. Like, when does he need that archery range to go down? I think he could probably wait a little longer with it. You know, make sure your opponent thinks you might be going all out on Knights. And then you know, add a few archers. So hopefully by the time they get any spearmen out, you have archers there to shoot them down. These spearmen are able to produce at double time thanks to the efficient production tech coming out from the Viper as the Delhi Sultanate. Hera trying to get on the wood line, but Viper being very, very active here. He's just going to jump on this straggler tree just to stay out of harm's way and keep his villagers as active as possible. Scout almost goes down from the villagers popping into the town center. And Hera just kind of lurking here like a shark. We'll see what he gets up to. Viper is very, very aware of this, and he is extremely good at committing the minimum number of resources to holding off pressure. So a few spears out from him, a couple of horsemen, presumably to deal with the archers, and I like that a lot. Horsemen won't go down too quickly from knights, and they will be very, very good at dealing with the archers. So I think that is a good use of them, but I think he needs to be a tad more careful here. Consider even putting a tower, an outpost, on his wood line so that his villagers can remain a little safer when knights are lurking. Viper trying to be a little more aggressive here, push out his opponent. Has a few archers of his own. Will take some pot shots at the archers here, but needs to be really, really careful of these French knights. We'll just follow those for a minute. This is really where the action is for the time being. Both players spending all of their resources very, very efficiently. Viper does have a little bit of wood saved up. We'll see if that ends up being on the production building farms, if he's too pressed in, or what have you. So yeah, just a lot of dancing back and forth from these two. Both seem fairly committed. Viper with the sort of three-piece outfit here with the archers, spears, and horsemen. Not a bad fight at all for the Viper. Hera, I think, needs to pull back here. You don't want your knights engaged with the spears for any period of time, and the horsemen kill archers so fast. Look how quickly those go down. Even the spears, once they're on them, will be reasonably effective. So, excellent play from the Viper pushing out, and I think Hera was maybe a little too... greedy isn't the right word, let's say aggressive. Another archery range coming down from him. Knights headed home. He does have chivalry now and will be healing those up. So, hopefully minimal losses for him. Do we see the knights? Corpses are gone there. We can't count them up. Viper going to push right through here. Very confident that he drove back that assault. So, right thing to do. Again, I mentioned these stealth forests at the start of the game. You definitely want to make your opponent feel like you can pop in, pop out at any given moment. Archer's starting to be annoying, shooting at some villagers. And the Viper isn't going to be able to put too much hurt on here. He is just enough to really keep Hera at home for a little bit. But you can see now he's headed home. At the end of the day, if you know, a couple more Royal Knights come out, sometimes they just call them French Knights. If more Royal Knights comes out, he will be hard-pressed to win that battle. And a bunch of these troops, you can see, are at low health. as well. So you definitely don't want spears at low health fighting knights. Making a few more spears and archers at home. Viper is starting to save up a little more food. Makes a second mosque here now as well. And a second blacksmith. Okay, so we now see the melee defense upgrade coming in as well. Yeah, second blacksmith. What does that get up to? Maybe siege engineering? Or maybe he just shuffles the upgrades on here. But always curious to see how players manage their double blacksmith and what order they get the upgrades in. Viper definitely saving up food here. So it is looking like he's pushing toward a decent castle age time. Hera slower on that front in terms of food, but is definitely ahead in gold. Hera now pushing out, going to catch this archer out. Oh, doesn't actually kill it, but wants to get away from the spears, so that is just fine from him. Meanwhile, Viper wants to be active with his horseman. I think he probably could jump on this wood line, which he's about to do. We'll see how quick Hera is in pulling off of it. And he gets one villager, is going to have to pull away. Doesn't want to be fighting Royal Knights under TC arrow fire as well. Hera's Knights getting right in here. I don't remember if the spear bracing bug affects Delhi. I don't think it does. I think it's Abbasid and the HRE. So these spearmen should be a little better than the bugged civs. Currently, Hera poking in and poking out. This is a well-placed tower, but he is causing some real idle time on the gold. And that will probably slow down the Viper's castle time. Remember, he is much further ahead in food than he is in gold for getting to that castle age. And give Hera a little more time to get caught up on that front. We did see a tower here on that wood line. He pops into it pretty early on. Very, very active play from him. Spears might catch Royal Knight out. Get a couple hits, nothing more than that, and these knights will be pretty happy to heal. Yeah, I think one possible option here is the horsemen, yes, are not very great in general right now, but keeping in mind that, you know, they do still have 125 hit points, you could probably push pretty hard with horsemen on this army. If your goal is to clear up the archers, then, you know, a solid diet of horsemen and then a few spearmen to get extra DPS against the knights could be a decent option. But Viper will probably do whatever is most economical to just keep his home base alive so he can get to Castle Age. That does seem to be his goal at the moment. He is very, very close to getting it. But look at this. He only needs 50 food, but still 150 gold. So every second he is held off from that gold is a second he is not making it to the Castle Age. Not a bad fight here for the Viper. Ooh, look at this. Spears getting in on those knights. Almost killing some. Another one goes down from the archer fire from that outpost. I think Hera wins this battle. Viper is overextended a little bit here, but he is at least close to his home. So at first, looked pretty positive for the Viper, but he did lose all of his horsemen in that process. So you like to see players maybe loop them around, run through the stealth forest, make your opponents worry that they're going to get raided at home, and then you can always pop back out and jump on some archers from behind. So we'll see if that affects Viper too badly. Did pop out his villagers here, pops them right back in, and do we see the... We do. See the landmark. I actually can't even see it because there's so many villagers around it building it. So 13 villagers getting a castle age, getting the castle age. Very, very keen on doing that. Upgrades to arrow slits here. Will hold off the knights for the time being and is up to the castle age. So there he goes. He hits it. We'll see what he gets up to here. Wouldn't be surprised to see some lancers of his own. He does have a stable, but doesn't have many production buildings of anything. One nice thing, so he is getting to veteran spearmen, which I think makes quite a bit of sense, given that he has a bunch of spearmen kicking around here. He is working on veteran archers as well. Same deal, has a good mass of archers. Now, they will only scale so well against your opponent's Royal Knights, who are continually raiding over and over in this game. So, Hera, I don't see an age up from him. So, it looks like he's pretty committed to the feudal age here. I see some skating archers here. Graphical glitch. He's pretty committed to the feudal age. He thinks he can take this with just early, Royal Knights rather than veteran Royal Knights from Castle, and just taking good battles, adding pressure, keeping his opponent at home. And I haven't noticed. He hasn't made an extra TC, has he? So that is something you can do in Age of Empires 4. It might seem like an Olin to stay in feudal, but you can actually macro quite a bit. You can boom with another town center. Continue to put the pressure on your opponent to a degree, and maybe punish them for getting into the Castle Age, get there with a much higher economy, and go from there. So what do we see? So Compound of the Defender from the Viper. So I don't know if that means a castle or what he's planning on doing with that. Only 2 villagers here on stone. So there is no discount on the town center. It's possible he just placed it down because the upgrades are so slow, at least the best upgrades, from the House of Learning, that it may not make much sense. Viper needs to be really careful here. This is a potentially a critical mass of Royal Knights where they can pretty much do anything they want. I mean, they could probably jump on this army and take it. It might not be the most economical, but in fact, he's going to snipe some spears. And now there's really nothing to stop these knights. I think Viper is in not a great spot here. Elephant running home. I'm surprised to see him go elephants in this match, especially the Tower War Elephant. We'll see if he gets a Scholar on this thing to heal. See if he pops them out here. But you really don't want to lose this. It's 1,000 resources to make this thing, and it goes down. I think that's a huge loss for the Viper here. I think kudos to Hera for identifying that and just jumping on the thing. Yes, he lost a few knights in the process, but very big investment down the drain for the Viper. Hera continuing to torch down this outpost, and Viper's going to need to try to get out with those villagers, but probably won't get out with many alive. Now another Tower War Elephant coming out. I think Viper could consider the regular War Elephants, which do quite a bit of bonus damage against knights, whereas these ones will go down. They have very little melee. Oh, is he stuck? Oh no. Oh, get out, get out, get out. I think he can get up the top now. This is going to be another elephant down for him. I just feel like he's feeding Hera. Hera's going to take these elephants, say, yep, thank you very much. Sure, he lost, looks like 3 Royal Knights here, so maybe not the worst trade for the Viper. Kept Hera occupied for a little bit, but yeah, I just get that sense like he's feeding them. And here we have villagers going down. Some villagers pop out the back. Hera's going to encounter those 2. I think this is a Viper falling apart here. 60 economy for Hera, 40 for the Viper. Sure, he's in the Castle Age, but what is he doing with it? The 2 elephants he's made have not worked out, that's for sure. Is he making any more? So, Veteran Archer upgrade finishing now. Looks like he put that off to make elephants. Okay, regular War Elephant being produced from the Viper now. Let's see, 62 economy Hera, 36 for the Viper. Folks, it's getting close to that 2-to-1 ratio where you know the game is absolutely over. Viper is upgraded to a stone tower at the front here, which gives it extra hit points, but there's villagers in here, and again, if those go down, it's just such a loss. It's like 1/7 of his economy, 1/8 is locked up in this tower here. We'll keep an eye on that. Hera poking forward with archers. Yes, he'll lose a few, but so good at keeping Viper occupied, right? Okay, War Elephant coming out from him now. We'll see what this thing can do. There are still a lot of archers here, so I'm not sure this is... Oh, look how fast it's going down. Retreats as quickly as he can. Takes out 1 Royal Knight from his opponent. Veteran Spear starting to come out, but... Oh yeah, it looks like it got 1 hit off. Killed a Royal Knight there. Elephant is now trapped. Scholar's coming out to heal this thing. Yeah, this is do or die for the Viper. I mean, so he has killed a few Royal Knights, which is good. Is healing the elephant. Needs to keep this thing alive for as long as possible. To some degree, has taken some of the wind out of Hera's sails in terms of his Knight mass. That being said, I'm sure there are more coming forward. We can see them there. Scholars go down. Those things are 75 gold each. Let's see if this elephant gets out alive. I'd be surprised. Yeah, there he goes, queuing up a bunch more Scholars to try to keep these things alive. And Hera knows this is a big investment. Let's just kill it. Don't let it heal. Jumps on it, and another 1,000 resources down from Viper. In this case, though, I think this was actually Better play from the Viper. I think this was a better, it just disappears, better decision in that he was able to very effectively counter these knights. And I think it did make back the money that he put into it. And the Viper knows he's behind. He throws in the towel. Hera beats the Viper, the French against the Delhi on Highview. Folks, this has been Paragon RG. Hope you enjoyed the game. If you have, please subscribe for daily videos just like this one. Catch you next time.